all among our ranks, to serve with decency, to serve with accountability, and to serve with integrity. When you are in the right, we will stand in defense of you to the very end. But when you violate these ethical norms, we will not rest until you are punished for your transgressions. We have not hesitated to hold our own accountable. In 2024 alone, the Supreme Court penalized 42 judges, 166 lawyers, and 109 court officials and personnel for various ethical violations. These disciplinary actions send a loud and clear message that misconduct will not be tolerated. They are also a sober reminder of why today's oath-taking is so significant. By taking this oath en masse, we turn the page from these mistakes and wrongdoings and look forward instead to the invitation and promise of a tomorrow beckoning with hope, inspiration, and renewal. This occasion marks a critical step in the Supreme Court's focused drive towards reversing the unfair perception that the justice system in our country is unreliable, that our judicial proceedings are ineffective and inefficient, that our judicial officers are unethical, unprincipled, and corrupt. The Supreme Court, under the leadership of Chief Justice Alexander Nasmundo, stands firmly behind these precepts and confidently declares that ethical conduct in public service is non-negotiable, and that we, as magistrates and court personnel, must continually honor the trust reposed in us by our people. At this point, on behalf of the court, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank the people who drafted and reviewed these codes. I had the privilege of chairing both the subcommittees for the review of the new Code of Judicial Conduct and for the review of the Code of Conduct for court personnel, and I was witness personally to the hard work poured into this project by all the members. These subcommittees were formed in 2023 and immediately undertook extensive consultations and study. We conducted a series of regional information and consultation caravans across the country, from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, to gather feedback from stakeholders. We also painstakingly analyzed our existing codes and comparative international standards, as well as the input from our consultations, to craft provisions that are clear, relevant, and fair to all concerned. So allow me to commend the members by name. This is the least we can do for them, and probably the only remuneration they will receive. So first of all, for the subcommittee for the Code of Judicial Conduct and Accountability, our Vice Chairperson, Court of Appeals Associate Justice, the Honorable Jeremy T. Albuquerque. Can you stand? Justice Check. Our Court Administrator, the Honorable Maria Teresa Dolores C. Gomez Estoesta. The Executive Justice of the Court of Appeals in the Visayas, the Honorable Pamela Ann Maxino. Associate Justice of the Court of Appeals, Honorable Hermano Francisco D. Legaspi. Associate Justice of the Sandigan Bayan, Honorable Bayani H. Cinco. Associate Justice of the Court of Tax Appeals, Honorable Jean Marie Bacoro Villena. The Solicitor General of the Republic of the Philippines, the Honorable Darlene Marie Vergarabe. Former third regular member of the Judicial Integrity Board, Honorable Celito Mindaro Pulido. Presiding Judge, Honorable Caridad Walce Lutero. Presiding Judge, Honorable Maria Gracia Cadiz Casaclan. Presiding Judge, Honorable Pia Cristina Bersamin Embuscado. Presiding Judge, Honorable Romeo Dizon Agra. Presiding Judge, Honorable Carlo D. Villarama. Presiding Judge, Honorable Roslyn M. Doha. Presiding Judge, Honorable Maria Josefina G. Torres San Juan. Presiding Judge, Honorable Juvenal M. Velia. Judicial Integrity Office, General Counsel, Attorney Romulo A. Parras Jr. Vice President for Administration of the University of San Carlos, Attorney Joanne S. Largo. Dean of the Best Law School in Rockville, the Ateneo Law School, Dean Jose Maria G. Moquilete. Former Dean of the Best Law School in Diliman, the University of the Philippines College of Law, Attorney Ides Cordero. Professor, Ateneo Law School, Attorney Maria Luisa Isabel Rosales. Professor, University of the Philippines College of Law, Attorney Tina Bernadette A. de la Cuesta Tanfico. Professor, University of the Philippines College of Law, Attorney Joanne de Venecia Pabul. Our court attorneys and secretariat, Attorney Paco Ortiz, Attorney Van Vergara, Attorney Jill Roy, Attorney Rina Ako, Attorney F. Bie, Attorney Mark Erwin Castillo, Attorney Michael Lawrence Del Mundo, Attorney Mel Lantion, Attorney Ryan Javier, and Attorney Early Oria Pangilinan. Our resource person, Professor Anthony Charlemagne C.U., and our advisors, my mentors, Honorable Arturo D. Brion and Honorable Hector G. Popelene. For the Subcommittee for the Code of Conduct and Accountability for Court Officials and Personnel, our Vice Chairperson, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Honorable Raul B. Villanueva. Court of Appeals, Associate Justice, recently retired, Honorable Marie Christine Ascarga Cato. Court of Appeals, Associate Justice, Honorable Maria Consejo Mapa Hentos Ignalara. Presiding Justice of the Court of Tax Appeals, Honorable Maria Belen Ringpis Liban. Court of Tax Appeals Associate Justice, Honorable Jean Marie Alcantara Bacoro Villena. Presiding Judge, Honorable Caridad Valse Montero. Executive Judge, Honorable Anjanette Nicolas de Leon Ortiz. Executive Judge, Honorable Gina Mamaragio Vivat Alamos. Vice Executive Judge, Honorable Juris Lilinia Caliana. Presiding Judge, Honorable Bernard P. Bernal. Presiding Judge, Honorable Ann Beatriz Aguana Balmaceda. Presiding Judge, Honorable Antonio Ray Ortiguera. Our Deputy Clerk of Court and Chief of the Office of Administrative Services, Attorney Maria Karina Atamo Unanan. Our Deputy Court Administrator for Administration, Honorable Lilian Cadivalco. The Officer in Charge of the Legal Office, Attorney Annalisa Tomas Parra. Former President of the Philippine Association of Court Employees, Mr. Edmund De Amin. President of the Supreme Court Employees Association, Mr. Erwin Hobson. President of the Supreme Court Assembly of Lawyer Employees, Attorney Rene Enciso. President of the Association of Court of Appeals Employees, Mr. Amiel Rivera. Former President of the Sandigan Bayan Employees Association, Mr. Edelvin Pamituan. President of the Court of Tax Appeals Employees Association, Mr. Adalberto Juan. Our court attorneys and the representatives of the different chambers, Attorney A.C. Manila, Attorney May Bautista, Attorney John Paul Lordan, Attorney Danisa Fortuna, Attorney Cherry Palianco, and Attorney Ivan Efrain Medina. I also wish to acknowledge Senior Associate Justice Marvick M.B. Leonen, who drafted the revised oaths of office office for both the CJCA and the CCA-COP. His thoughtful articulation of our solemn commitments has provided us with oaths that are not only legally sound, but morally resonant, anchoring our personal pledges in the enduring values of truth, justice, equality, and peace. Finally, to my fellow justices, judges, court officials, and personnel, as we stand together this morning to take our oaths, let us remember that this ceremony is far more than just an empty ritual or a true form of requirement. It is a solemn renewal of our sacred pledge to the Filipino people. We do this publicly and collectively to show that we are one in our resolve to render ethical service. We do this in the wake of challenges and controversies that have sorely tested our country's moral fiber, to demonstrate that our resolve is stronger than ever. I will echo here the aspiration I voiced during the drafting of the oaths. I have long dreamed of the day when integrity will no longer be a rare commodity, when honesty will be second nature to everyone, and when decency will be a way of life. Today, I ask that all of us take a step toward this dream by taking our oaths in unity, by moving closer to the ideals of integrity, honesty, and decency as the defining pillars of daily life in all our courts. Let us make this commitment not just in words, but in every decision we pen, in every case we handle, in every service we render to the public. In doing so, we ensure that the rule of law in our country remains strong, that justice is served without fear or favor, and that the judiciary 2026 and beyond will be truly the last bastion of right and justice for the Filipino people. On behalf of the Supreme Court, I welcome you all to this oath-taking ceremony and launch of the two oaths. May this event inspire us and reinvigorate our sense of mission. Mabuhay ang Judikatura.
Thank you, Justice Singh. To deliver a message on behalf of the European Union Governance and Justice, let us all welcome Mr. Siavash Rabari, Country Manager of the International Development Law Organization and Team Leader of the EU GOJAS.
Good morning, one and all. My name is Siavash Rabari. I'm the Country Director for the International Development Law Organization. IDLO is a relatively new technical lead for the European Union funded governance and justice program, or EU GOJUST. And EU GOJUST has been dedicated to supporting the Supreme Court in the development and finalization of the two codes being launched today. Since I am relatively new to leading EU GOJUST, I come to you now mostly with an aspiration to support the rule of law in the Philippines, rather than a long track record of doing so. But beyond my aspiration, I also come with a great deal of admiration for the visionary leadership and work that has been done by the Supreme Court since the launching of the Strategic Plan for Judicial Innovation, and in particular the process that led to the completion of these codes of conduct. I am an admirer of the ambition that drove this process, the national consultation that shaped it, and the scope it has come to encompass. To me, these new rules reflect careful consideration of the current constraints and opportunities that shape the lived experiences of judges, court officials, and personnel, and the people that they serve. It is clear that these codes were drafted with and in service to those it guides and constrains. They take into consideration the substantial developments in law, technology, socioeconomic structures that have materially altered our lives across the globe in the last 20 years. I pledge to you now that IDLO and EU GOJUST will continue to support the Supreme Court and its ambitions under SDJ1. I want to thank the European Union for providing the support necessary for our collaboration to continue as we pursue our next admirable endeavor. Thank you very much. I'll be back.
Thank you, Mr. Rabari. We will now proceed with the oath-taking of the Justices of the Supreme Court.
Okay, the oath of office to the members of the Supreme Court.
May I respectfully request your honors to please raise your right hand and turn off your microphone, please. I accept the honor, privilege, and responsibility entrusted to me as
So the honor, privilege, and responsibility for us justly to be the Chief Justice.
I shall hold this office for the interest of all our people.
I shall hold this office for the interest of all our people.
I shall always be guided by the principle
I shall always be guided by the principle
that public office is a public trust.
that office of public trust.
I solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution
So this way, I hold the responsibility
as well as all laws, rules, and orders from duly constituted authorities. I shall uphold the rule of law in order to build a just and humane society, to promote the common good. I shall embody competence, integrity, probity, and independence in the exercise of my judicial functions. I shall always remain independent from any influence or unwarranted or undue pressure. I shall discharge these duties without fear or favor, always to ensure equitable access to justice for everyone. In all my actions, I will always endeavor to do justice. I shall adhere to the highest ethical standards of judicial conduct and comply with my oath as a lawyer. I shall do no falsehood or impropriety, nor tolerate any unethical behavior of other court officers or staff. In all my dealings, I will conduct myself in a manner compatible with the dignity of my judicial office. I impose all this upon myself without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Thank you, Your Honors. The Honorable Chief Justice Alexander G.S. Bullock will now administer the oath to the tertiary level justices and the trial court judges.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I accept the honor, duties and responsibility entrusted to me as Chief Justice. I shall hold this office for the interest of all our people. I shall always be guided by the principle public office is a public trust. I solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution as well as all laws, rules, and orders and duly constituted authorities. I shall hold the rule of law, very free, just and humane society, move the power. I shall embody confidence, integrity, probity, and independence in the exercise of my judicial function. I always remain independent. Many influence on management question. I shall discharge these duties in the fear and favor. Always be true, equitable, and justice for everyone. In all the actions, and always enable to do justice. I shall live the highest ethical standards of judicial conduct and comply with the rules of the law. I shall do my work with propriety and thoroughly in ethical behavior. Other important social stuff. In all my dealings, I will conduct myself in a manner compatible with the dignity of the person. I, with me, impose upon myself the mental reservation and non-discrimination. So I will do that.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Honorable Chief Justice Alexander Mizmundo will now administer the oath of office to all the court officials and court personnel.
Please give the Lord the name, public officer, holding a public trust. Have you been appointed as? I solemnly swear that I will the Constitution, the laws, rules and legal affairs issued by the duly constituted authorities of the public people. I shall maintain in this lifestyle and protect my dedication to serving the public. I shall maintain and defend the independence and dignity of the judiciary. I will carry out with confidence the highest level of competence, integrity, and speed. I shall do so with a living and informed interface. With pride and passion. I shall not do, consent, nor participate in any falsehood. I shall champion equal access to justice. For all persons, regardless of their identity, gender, uniform ability. I will remain a public officer. My voice will not die. No many days. Shall always be guarded. Constitutional desire for a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, quality, imposes obligation to convince of voluntarily, to the criminal justification of prosecution. So help me God. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, Chief Justice Mizmundo. To deliver his closing remarks, let us all welcome the Honorable Senior Associate Justice Marvin M. Leon.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Isang mapagpalayang umaga sa ating lahat na imbag-agsapa at kayo aming mga nagkapuwi tinatulad-lumang maaari. The Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of the Philippines, Chief Justice Alexander S. Mundo, my esteemed colleagues, Justice Ben, Justice Mon, Justice Ami, Justice Henry, Justice Ludil, Justice Sam, Justice Vicky, Justice Jolo, Justice Jax, Justice Mailas, Justice Richie, Justice Monet, and Justice Zero. The members of the appellate courts, judges of our trial courts, court officials, personnel, members of the bar, our partners, fellow seekers of justice. The philosopher Emmanuel Levinas once wrote that ethics is first philosophy. By this he meant something radical. Western philosophy has long begun with the self, being, existence, ego. Levinas turned this upside down, arguing that philosophy should not begin with the self, but with the other, with a responsibility that comes before choice, before power, before comfort. As Levinas said in his essay, responsibility for the other, for the naked face of the first individual to come along. A responsibility that goes beyond what I may or may not have done to the other, or whatever else I may or may not have committed, as if I were devoted to the other person before being devoted to myself. Or more exactly, if I have to answer for the other's death, even or before me, those words. This is what ethics is, not self-interest, but responsibility. Not convenience, but obligation. Not the reduction of everyone to the same as ourselves, but the recognition of the irreducible dignity of the other, especially those who, unlike us, do not enjoy the same privilege or the same comforts. In the context of the judiciary, ethics is not simply about how we behave. It is about how we wield power in relation to those who have less. Our institutions exist not only to protect the rule of law, but to ensure that the rule of law serves social justice, lifting the marginalized, protecting the disempowered, and giving voice to those who are often unheard. It is in this spirit that we launch today the 2025 Code of Judicial Conduct and Accountability, and the 2025 Code of Conduct and Accountability for court officials and personnel. These are not just new bodies of text to memorize. They state